Can Butch Jones make it through Tennessee football season? If not, he's far from it alone. Tuscaloosa is not a good place for a coach fighting to keep his job to be right now. And, make no mistake about it, Butch Jones is fighting to keep his job at Tennessee. Once upon a time, Jones would have been safe at least until the end of this, his 5th season in Knoxville. Yes, he's 3-3 overall, 0-3 in the Southeastern Conference this season, but he came into September off back-to-back 9-4 records, having succeeded Derek Dooley, who was a model of consistency in 3 seasons, 6-7, 5-7, 4-7 before he was fired with 1 game left in the 2012 season. At a lot of places, 9-4 back-to-back might earn a coach a lifetime contract. Not so at Tennessee, where Philip Fulmer had 8 seasons with at least 10 wins between 1993 and 2007, including 13-0 in winning the 1998 national championship, before his second losing season over that span, in 2008, led to him being pushed out in favor of Lane Kiffin. Yes, that Lane Kiffin. 1-7-6 season later, Kiffin was gone to Southern Cal and Dooley was in. Now, Jones might be a route away from the door, and a trip to number 1 Alabama, with its 4 SEC wins by a combined score of 193-31, is up next on Saturday. As Vols slide, fire Butch Jones threatens to drown out Rocky Top. Because coaches are paid so much money nowadays and because they are running programs worth millions and millions of dollars to their schools, most are on a short leash. Even Army and Navy, schools that are training our future military leaders, have fired coaches in mid-season in the 21st century. Charlie Weatherby went out the door at Navy midway through the 2001 season, with the Mids en route to an 0-10 record. 2 years later, Todd Berry outdid him, getting fired in the midst of an 0-13 season. 2 years ago, Maryland fired Randy Edsall with a 2-4 record in his 5th season, after announcing a contract extension for him in July. Edsall's record at that stage was 20-28. He was one of 6 FBS-level coaches to be fired during that season. Athletic directors will tell you that one reason to pull the trigger during the season, if you've decided to fire your coach anyway, is so you can openly start your search for a successor, rather than sneak around trying to line up potential replacements. Rarely does the secret search stay secret because those being recruited want it out there whether they're interested in the job or not, the better to squeeze a raise and an extension out of their current employer. Kiffin's in-season firing at USC may be the most infamous. Athletic director Pat Hayden fired him in an airport hangar early in the morning after the Trojans had flown back home after a 62-41 loss at Arizona State. There have been other classless firings, most notably then Army Athletic Director Rick Greenspan firing Bob Sutton, who had been the National Coach of the Year in 1996 and had worked at Army for 16 years, on a Philadelphia street corner in 1999. If Jones can make it to the end of the season at Tennessee, he might even be around next year. Not likely, but not impossible. The Vols still have winnable games remaining against Southern Mississippi, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Kentucky on the road and LSU at home look like tough outs right now. Jones is going to need to win all 3 games in which his team will be favored and at least beat Kentucky or LSU to have a chance. Analysis: Ohio State controls its playoff destiny after a weekend of upsets. In short, he needs the kind of upset LSU pulled last Saturday when it beat Auburn. You remember the coaching climate at LSU. A year ago, Athletic Director Joe Alleva decided he had to pull a mid-season plug on Lane Miles after LSU lost at Auburn when officials overturned a last-second, game-winning touchdown pass because the ball had been snapped just after the clock hit 0. Miles had a 114-34 record and 12-plus seasons at LSU, including 7 seasons with 10 wins or more. He'd won a national title in 2007 and played in the championship game in 2011. But a drop-off to 8-5 and 9-3 put his job in jeopardy. The loss to Auburn was more than Alleva could bear. And so, 4 games in, Out went Miles, in came Ed Orgeron, who had stepped in for Kiffin 3 years earlier at USC and gone 6-2, but had not gotten the job at season's end. This time, Orgeron again went 6-2 and did get the job, in large part because the big-name coaches Aleva tried to woo had no interest in working for someone who would fire a coach with Miles's track record, and at midseason. When the Tigers lost at home to Troy 3 weeks ago, the howling began. Miles had lost his job after losing at Auburn on a controversial last-second call. Orgeron now had a loss to Troy on his resume. A 17-16 escape against Florida and last week's comeback 27-23 win over Auburn calmed the waters, for now. Orgeron is undoubtedly safe at least through the rest of the season. Jones, not so much. He's already had one major media meltdown that went viral a month ago when he accused the Tennessee media of being overwhelmingly negative about the team after an embarrassing 17-13 win over winless UMass. He went on to give a cop-out lecture about remembering that these are kids, and finally went to the fake news attack. He was clearly flailing, having his team go on to embarrass itself at home in a 41-0 loss to Georgia the following week didn't help. A blowout at Alabama might be the last straw, especially since athletic director John Currie, who came on board in May, didn't hire him and no doubt would love to start fresh with his own guy next season. The first steps in that direction could be a few days away. There's certainly plenty of precedent for it. For more by John Feinstein, visit WashingtonPost.com web link. More college sports coverage. Not so fast, my friend, a stroke couldn't rob Lee Corso of game day. Pitino sues Adidas for damaged reputation, emotional distress. Maryland athletic director Kevin Anderson will go on 6-month sabbatical. College football loves to trample assumptions. Just ask Clemson.